everyone, so today I am in District 4, which I believe is probably one of my favorite districts because I always find myself back here. And I'm here today because I have discovered a place that sells up, or should I say a whole street that sells up, which is Vietnamese sea snails for 20k a plate. So pretty incredible, and that's what I'm feeling like today. So I've just headed there and I'm in District 4 now. So I'm just entering Vĩnh Khánh Street now, which is a kind of food street here in District 4, known to have all sorts of up around the whole street. So this is a street that is really popular and bustling at night time. I am here quite early, so it's not even 5 yet, and so there's just lots of traffic, people heading home from work. But around 6 or 7 onwards is where it gets really busy. So just making my way down here, which I'll show you some of the vendors that aren't really open yet, still setting up. But at the end of the street is where the street that has the 20k plates of up is. So I'm just making my way there now. So I've spotted my first 20k up, which is just here, and then it seems to be that it's also on this side. So I think that when the car wash does close up and they clean up, there's also going to be seating there. I'm just going to turn left and make my way down there and see what else I can find at the stage. Hey. Alright, so I found my spot here. I actually ended up going back to where I said I turned left and turned right because there was more up vendors down this way, and I've just found this spot here. So it's called Upsen, and there's a lot of variety of up here. So I've got a table at the front, and pretty much I'll give you a menu, or you can order it by picking what's at the front. I'm not too well versed with my sea snails, so I'm just going to ask for some assistance. But some things here are 20k, and then some things do range up to 40 or 60k, depending on what you would like. There's also kind of your crab claws, as well as abalone, your oysters, chicken feet, as well as your squid. So a huge range of options here, as well as your baluts, your grilled corn, and then your drinks as well. So of course when you're eating up, you need to pair it with a beer, right? The feast has arrived and I have ordered a few things. So the only thing here that isn't 20k is the oysters, which is 4 pieces for 25k, and then the other 2. So this is the jam, and I don't know what this is called in English. So if you do know, let me know. And I've got this, which I'm trying something new. And this one's called up gao, which is like a rice sea snail. And the sizing is pretty big for 20k, I must say. And I've just ordered one more thing, which I think is on the way, which is your bap sao. And I'm just going to dig in. And honestly, right now they are doing a little bit of reno. So next to me is one of the workers, or one of the owners, on a ladder, which is situated on top of 4 stools, and he's just gone to the top to try and set up something. And it's looking dangerous, but my gosh, the Vietnamese are very creative in that sense. I am going to go for the jam, which the shell looks like this, and I don't know what this is called in English, but it's I'm going to say it's like some type of mussel. And there's just kind of your deep fried onions on the side, as well as your rau muong, so your kangkong. And there's just 2 sauces. So you've got the fish sauce, kind of your sweet fish sauce, and then your standard calamansi with your salt and pepper and chili. Wow. And honestly, for 20k, a big plate like this is at least 15 minimum here, and the sizing for each one it's fantastic. You're thinking that, like, because of the price, 20k, it's going to be very tiny kind of sea snails or, you know, your clams. But no, this is good. And the fried garlic is a little bit burnt, but it kind of goes well with it. Yum. And I love ramen. Oh, me. The ramen back home in Australia, pretty pricey, but here in Vietnam, it's with everything. It's so affordable, it's so tasty. Next up is the oyster. This looks like this. And I've just gotten it with a mohan, so your onions and your oil onions, and then there's peanuts on top. And I'm just going to try this as is. Yum. That goes so good. Oh. One thing I've noticed about solo vlogging is some of the shots are really hard to get. So for example, this table is usually that way, but I've just put it so it's long ways to set up the camera, and even now I don't think you guys can see much of the food that well, unfortunately. And so, you know, maybe I need to think about getting a tripod, something to think about that would potentially make my life easier, but sometimes tripods can be quite bulky or heavy, so it would just be like another thing I would have to carry. So I think this is kind of like a trial stage to see how I can go without a tripod and if I can make do. And the up now here, wow, look at that. It's pretty big sizing for what it is. And all right, so apparently the trick is to go with the shell, and that's a big piece of meat. Wow, this is impressive, if I must say. Wow. Oh, that's extremely bitter. Probably because I ate the whole thing. It kind of reminds me of the apple, the big black one, which I'm not too sure exactly what that's also called in English, but it's that big black one. And sometimes in Vietnamese dishes they chop up the pork, put it with kind of lemongrass and stuff it back in, and that's what it tastes like. It tastes like that, which probably isn't my favorite. I like more of a clam or mussel kind of textures. So for me, I usually like hippies and oysters. Well, this one, jam is good. And sometimes I have the really big jam, which they grill it up like the oyster, and that is like a favorite for me. I like that as well as the grilled scallops. They're good, unbelievable. Wow. So it looks like in the shell. And then just getting out, and goodness, it's fresh. There's a inside seating as well as outside. And the owner was asking me before if I was filming for, you know, for a review or what I was filming for. I said I was filming for YouTube. She said that she's heard some stories where there's YouTubers or reviewers that vlog stuff and have kind of gone and said some horrible things, which has made her a bit uncomfortable. But I said no, like I'm just introducing that there's a place that sells, like there's like a whole street that sells 20k up, which is sea snails. She was like, oh okay, so she was a bit hesitant, but super nice about it, and luckily I could film this. Just finished up with dinner, and honestly I really can't complain. I am just shocked how big this, you know, pieces of seafood are, despite, you know, how affordable it is. And honestly a really great place there, and it's really picking up now. I'm back on Vĩnh Khánh Street heading out, and it's such a vibe. Honestly, if you are in Vietnam, you should definitely head to District 4. There is just so much variety of food here. Despite this street being known for up, there's lots of other things as well, or kind of if you steer off into the other streets, there is different types of food as well. So you know, your bò kho, your bánh xèo, bún cá, which is like your fish noodles, and bánh xèo is your like Vietnamese pancakes, the yellow ones. And honestly, you can get anything, and it's just such a vibe to hang out with friends here. you know, grab a drink, catch up, and now that it's a little bit later, almost 7:30, it's definitely picking up and everyone's come out. Lots of music playing and totally a great vibe. And earlier I forgot to mention, but the ordering system is that you pretty much write down your order and then she weighs it up and cooks it fresh on the spot. So it's honestly a really nice spot. And yeah, I mean, I think this wraps up the vlog for today, and I hope you guys did enjoy it. Please, if you have any recommendations, please let me know in the comment box below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one.
So sweet like a lemonade. Check time, we can get it up, Minute Maid. We can do something new, let me innovate.